Welcome to another episode of Pause with Noko. I'm with my girl, someone I admire. Oh, I love this girl. I love her so much. It was love at first sight. Is that how English is from John? Love at first sight?
Love at first sight.
It was love at first sight, and today she is here. Um, but before I say what I want to say, I want to welcome you, Zim, and introduce yourself the way you want to be known. Who is Zim?
Okay. Thank you, Kala, just for being here. This is amazing for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I am Zimkita Macengulashe Zilo.
Mm.
I'm a publisher and founder of Uhlanga Books. And yeah, that's how I want you to know me. The publisher and founder of Uhlanga Books. When you see me, see Uhlanga Books.
So we have a culture here, Zim, where abantu they tell us the history behind their names.
Oh, yes, I love.
Tell us about Zimkita.
No. Okay.
Yes.
Zimkita is lovely. Zimkita is lovely. It's a beautiful name. And but I am in love with telling the
Mhm.
story of what Uhlanga means. Yes, and where it comes from and all of that.
Mm.
So when I was thinking of starting a publishing house, I wanted a name. Of course, you have to have a name when you are going to register a company and when you are going to brand yourself.
Mm.
And I kept thinking, and every time I would go to sleep,
Mm.
I would get this word, Uhlanga. And I
Mm.
wake up and I'll check, like it's a tribe. I don't want to be a tribe.
Mm.
In isiXhosa, Uhlanga means a tribe. Like
Mm.
I don't want to be that. And then there was also Uhlanga where it means race. I'm like, no, I don't want that. That's it doesn't make sense. And
Mm.
it took like 3 weeks for me to get to what actually that Uhlanga that I was dreaming about meant. It means it is derived from Zulu mythology.
Mm.
Zulu people in the olden days believed that when people die, they
Mm.
don't just vanish or end.
Mhm.
They go back to being Uhlanga.
Mhm.
Uhlanga is a reef in Ngqongolo.
Mm.
Yes, that's what Uhlanga is. And they believe that when you die, you go back, and when you go, and then
Wow.
you become Uhlanga. And Uhlanga gives life. There is oxygen that you get from that. Uhlanga, there'll be water ephayana kwingcongolo. There'll be that water in the swamp, but Uhlanga survives there. So that is, I was like, okay, this is what I am. This is what I am. This is probably what this means. And I read up on it, and I was like, it speaks exactly to the type of publisher I want to be. I want to tell stories that stand the test of time, stories that will be relevant 100 years to come, stories that would stay emanzini, that are not moving, amdaka, but still be able to produce this beautiful fan. Because where Uhlanga is, there is quietness of water, but there is this beautiful greenery that is happening,
Wow.
this life that is
I
happening.
can.
And I want Uhlanga Books to be that, to live forever. So that is why even when I get a book and I read it, I don't just publish it. I have to ask myself, is this book going to be relevant in 20 years to come?
Oh wow.
In 100 years, will someone pick this book up and still relate to it? So the tagline ke is Uhlanga oluphila ngonaphakade. So that is the name that I always feel like, yes, this is what
Wow,
it means.
that is deep because when I was thinking about this name Uhlanga Books, I thought about tribe.
Yeah.
I thought maybe is it Xhosa tribe?
No, most people think
That's why I want people to tell their stories. You know what I've learned is about my work and the work of others is that our work tells a story.
Yeah. Yes.
And I didn't know that until recently. We are storytellers through our work, especially abantu abafana nam nawe. Now you've just told a story about the
The
name,
name itself, yeah.
and now there is Uzimkita. What is the history behind igama likaZimkita?
Okay. Uzinkida, I think it means naturally beautiful. That's
Yeah.
what it means. That's what it means.
Mm.
However, my dad says that when my mother was pregnant, another girl that he was dating had just had a baby.
Okay.
So that child was Victory, Noloyiso.
All
It was
right.
Victoria. And then I come in and then my mom says, I am Nontombi. Like my dad was so angry. She said, I was like, I'm looking at her like, other girls are naming their kids Victoria, Victory, and you are giving the child a name that just basically says their gender. And she looked at me, I was dark. He says he looked at me and I was dark and I had these bright eyes and he was like, "Nomkhitha lo mntana, you can't just be giving names that don't make sense. Kuzimkhitha lona." And remember at the time, it wasn't like now, where if you have impregnated someone, it's automatic that you get to name that child. Umntana wentombi, umntana wakulomama.
Yeah.
Only people from the mother's side had a right to name the child, to have a say in how the child is sort of introduced into the world. And my dad said, I was like, no. And that is when, obviously, he also proposed that let's get married because I was crying nonstop, Mama. And they kept using the name Nontombi. Nontombi. And it was like, my mom called and said, this child is not keeping quiet. And then my sisters are saying, I must bring the child. Maybe she wants to see
The
paternal side of the family. And when I was taken home and people started calling me Zimkhitha, I was fine. I wasn't crying. And my mom said they would call me Nontombi and there would be no recognition. But every time someone would say Zimkhitha, I'd be like, I understand what's going on. So,
well, that's beautiful. I love these histories in Kita. I love the history behind our names. And it's a recent thing for me because I am passionate about African history and who we were before colonization and the meaning behind our names and the history and who named you. I'm still going to have the whole podcast about my name.
Okay.
I have a history. I have history. I have interesting history that I recently asked it to my mom, and my mom told me that I was like, I didn't even know that, but because now I think I am growing and falling in love to who we were.
Yeah.
Before
to know,
so that we know. And whenever I listen to people, and now I'm curious, I'm asking people the Soto names, the Zulu names, and it's interesting that there is history, but unfortunately we are losing that now. Yeah. There is a trend now. The parents that we are now, we're following the trend that is not even,
this
meaningfully.
This is powerful because now since 2019, I've started calling myself Macenglashe.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that is so. People assume that that's my clan name. However, that is not. It is my lineage name. Umakhulu. I think a great grandmother was called Umacenglashe. So our father loved history, and he would tell us this thing. That is how I know how my name came about. I know how they got married with my mom, and they were sang to by ghosts and all of that. I know all of that history because he used to tell us the history. And when he told us the story of Umacenglashe, when 2019 came, a lot was happening, and I felt like I was relating more and more to who Macenglashe was from being told who she was. And I was like, you know what? I want to name myself this. For the longest time, I've been saying, I've lost my idea. I have to go do it. I'm like, I am so tempted to lose Uzimkhitha and just be Macenglashe Zilo. Because I feel I derive so much power from that name. So really, I think you are onto something. I believe you are onto something.
It's history. History is. I never liked history from school, but then when I university, I fell in love with history. I think because now we started about people that we don't know, we can't even pronounce Oyan van Riebeeck. We didn't know those people, but then now,
don't even relate.
Now that we are talking about our African history, now I understand that history is deeper than academic history, but your personal history. It starts with your name. Who are you? Who named you? Because our names, it's either as Africans, it's either they are prophetic or it's a prayer or it's a hope, it's a wish or it's something that was happening. There is history behind our names. And I want people to go back to their parents, if they still have parents, and ask them, what was happening when I was named? And why is it that? Because, oh my goodness. And I thought about Nelson Mandela. That Nelson Mandela was, most people, they don't know his name, because of our colorful history. his name was changed to Nelson Mandela. But Rolihlahla is such a powerful
Powerful name.
historical name, Eli Lobukhosi, and people they don't
In
know
Long
that.
Walk to Freedom, about the children's version,
Mm.
by Chris van Wyk, he says, I don't know whether it's what Mandela said to
Mm.
him when he was telling him about the book. He said, Rolihlahla means troublemaker, means,
Oh yeah,
and she says, I am wondering if my father knew that I would be a troublemaker in the white supremacist power when he named me this. So you see,
Yeah.
even
You
then,
follow your
you follow your
name,
name.
and it's amazing because that's why I want people to go back to that history. No, we are not studying now. We're not talking about academic history.
Academia.
We're not writing exam, but your history, and there is a lot about who you are. Because boom, it made sense all of a sudden to man, okay, even the work that I do is connected to my
To the
name.
name.
So yeah, otherwise that's the thing. I was looking forward to this Ushanga name, and so that we hear from it and we assume and we the interpretation. Because if anyone would ask me were to ask me about Ushanga books, what does Ushanga mean? I'll tell them a different story.
The type one.
Because that's what I understood when I read Ushanga. But this is what it means. This is what it means. But hearing from you, and there's a whole lot of misinterpretation and things that
Yes.
now are because yeah. And then Zimkit, you introduced yourself as a publisher, right? And I want you to allow me to introduce you to you.
Oopsie. Okay.
Let me tell you my version of me. Yes.
Okay. Embracing myself.
So I did my work. So for me, you are a woman of many talents. You are not just a publisher. Publishing for you, according to my narrative, it's part of who you are and part of your work, part of what you do, not who you are. There is who you are and there's what you do. You are a woman of many talents, and I don't know if I told you that I'm observant.
I know you are.
I'm observant. I study people. I don't bring people here that I did not study. And when I study people, I know why there's a potential of them to be part of my journey. And you are one of those. So you're a woman of many talents, and you there are other things that you do that we're going to talk about. And I'm learning and unlearning at the same time the idea of boxing people. Because if now we introduce you as a publisher, that's one part. There is so much that you do, and you're going to tell us about that. Because if I do not relate, or one of the viewers, I relate to Kuwe as a publisher, it will, or they will
Eliminate
relate
others.
when you're in. You are so organized. I've never seen umdo organized in Jengawa.
Okay.
2. 3, Uzimkita, now I'm not talking to you. Zimkita give her all in everything adecide ukuyenza. You give your all. You are organized. You are a woman of standards. And I've attended your book launch, and I was amazed. If you decide you have a story to tell and you want a good publisher, I recommend this woman. She will help you from the beginning to a book launch. Zinkita, the way you are so organized, and your authors can agree to that. That a woman of standard, Zinkita is very excellent when it comes to communication skills. Awuyiqali into ongayigqibisisa. And you are so excellent because I think you respect abantu and respect a brand.
Yeah.
I would recommend you any time of the day, anywhere. If is there anyone who's looking for a publisher, I don't even think twice
Oh, no.
because of how you presented yourself. I've experienced this. This is my version of who Zimkita is. Are
I
you
know,
meeting?
I know people that will say, good communicator.
Professional. Bangalibali professional.
Someone said I was an introvert, and people were like, that's new to us. But, I mean, so far, okay.
You are
Okay,
professional. You are
okay.
professional. And
What's
now
mama?
you are professional, and I
Nkosi.
love that about you. And so, Zinkita, you started this Uhlanga books, and what are you doing at Uhlanga? And we've got the name, and now, but before that, where is home for Zinkita?
I grew up in the Free State,
Uyabuya.
adolescent. Kiyabonga, hey,
Ah, really?
kiyabonga Sesotho ke, yasingola ke, yasibala,
I didn't
everything.
know that.
Ah, you
I
Sona,
now
that's
I'm adding languages. So it's Sesotho, it's a
Sesotho,
Xhosa, English.
Tswana,
How
yes, Tswana, Pedi, and then
how many languages?
it's Xhosa English, Setswana, Pedi, Sesotho, and yeah, that's
Five
five. That's
languages.
five.
Wow,
Just five.
girl.
Just
Okay,
five languages.
okay, yes,
And
yes.
of course, the woman, the language of love. I love people. So that is
Mm,
I see you and then I smile. You know, I love you. So
yeah.
that's another language.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
grew
So
up.
I grew up in the Free State.
Mm,
My parents are from Eastern Cape in
mhm.
Monti. In fact, they are from Ezlalini. Utata is from Ezlalini. That's a Berlin, Emncocho, KwaXhoma. So
Where is that? Which town?
it's it's very close to King Williamstown.
Okay,
So there's a small, I don't even know if it's a town, it's a street
okay.
called Berlin.
Oh, nice.
Van
Okay,
bakhona bathi kuseBhalini.
okay.
Yes.
You can do the festival, Berlin, something.
The Mahashe thing.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay,
Berlin, I think it's Berlin. Oh yeah, something.
something.
Yes. Yes,
So
it's
your
in
dad is from
Berlin.
there.
It's from there.
Okay.
Kwilali ke phayana
Uh,
uXhomo. So that's where, and I've recently we went there 2010. Sadly, my parents passed, so
mm,
it wasn't easy for us to go back home. We really
mm,
just didn't,
mm,
you know. But I felt like I needed to go back, so
mm,
we went home with Chana Wetu, and now I can just easily say "Singabantwana bakwaXhosa." Like
mm,
because I went back and we belonged. We stayed there for a month,
mm,
and men, we belonged. We felt like we were at home. I was just part of Umgalelo Abafazi. When I left
mm,
there,
mm,
I left this Umgalelo Abafazi.
mm,
So I am connecting with that part.
mm,
And I feel like I'm a small town type of person. Because
mm.
if Free State where we grew up, Velkom, it was a small mining town.
Okay.
And I don't know Monty, East London and all of that. That just overwhelms me. So when I go home, my dog is Berlin
Mm,
and Elalini, and I love that more than
mm.
anything. So ndingowakuqala ke iMonti.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
It's I'm starting to. This is the first time I'm introducing myself as Mntu kaXhosa.
Yes,
Yes, yeah, it feels
and
good.
this is
Home.
home because you know me and identity, right? You know me and identity. I
So,
always take people back to their roots,
and this is the
and
first time I'm like,
I'm proud. I'm happy to hear that. I was invited Kwenye Nkonzo on Women's Day, Saturday, that Women's Day, 9th August 2025. And this lady introduced herself, amagama to English nelesiXhosa. And she said, "This is my first time introducing myself like this." And I knew that she used to introduce herself in the English name. So afterwards, I came and I was like, "Can you confirm? You meant that you never introduced yourself in this Kamala class?" And she said, "Yes."
yeah,
So I love that. I attract that my presence just makes people to
makes
go
me go
back,
back
makes
home,
people to
go
go
back.
back
Yeah.
home. And home is not physical. So now I took you back now.
That's like, can it be December already?
I took you back, and then your love for books is in Musuka kuthandela kule ncwadi. Why books? When? Take us back. Allow your mind to transport you back when you started this.
Okay. Growing up in the Free State, my father worked in the mines.
Mm.
Umama worked as a domestic worker.
Mm.
So
Were they married?
they were married. Oh yeah,
Okay.
they got married after I started crying and I wasn't keeping quiet. We got
Okay,
tired.
and then Daddy
Then just started
decided that.
yeah, I'm marrying this one. So the victorious one was victorious elsewhere.
Okay.
My mother won that one. Yes. So we when he worked in the mines, most men that worked in the mines they stayed in Komponi
Mm-hmm.
and their families were in the rural
Rural.
areas.
Mm.
My father was like, he doesn't want that. He wants his
Mm.
family. He was where we stayed, there were only Sotho people.
Mm.
We're the only Xhosa family where he bought a house, a bond house,
Mm.
and beautiful house. And because most people, because their wives would only come for a month, so
Mm.
they would be renting
And
ematyotyombisa.
then they had every families,
You know,
city family, and
and
then your rural
yes, and
family.
my father was like, I'm not doing that. I'm bringing my family. So we grew up there, and of course, it's a small town.
Yeah.
KwaSotho, I just came in, and in Xhosa, I do not know much. And my father wants us to be these kids abahleli endlini. You are not going
Mm.
to go outside. So my mom would bring books from emsebenzini wakhe,
Mm.
and I'll just look at pictures. And my father, so Emine, you started work at 4 in the morning. You had shift, so he started at 4 in the morning, and around 12 he was out, so he'd be home by 2. So when I came back from school, I would get my father instantly,
Mm.
and he started reading to me these books, and then he started teaching me how to read.
All right.
And by the time I was 13, I had read Daniel Steele. I was done with children's books. I was into Daniel Steele and others, and I started reading from there. I
Mm.
never stopped. I never stopped. I read
Mm.
any book that I could find.
Mm.
And I come to Cape Town 2008. First thought I had this um, first thought I had, I see kids, they are playing
Mm.
ngezitompi zamacuba,
Mm.
cigarette stubs,
Mm.
and bottles of alcohol along the road.
Mm.
Culture shock for me. There is no such in the Free State. You
Mm.
will not see that. In the Free State, you can't say even you don't go around and you see people smoking. I was
Mm.
shocked at everyone is smoking
And
here.
it's normal.
It's normal, and it's that on its
Mm.
own. And Omakoti was very shocking for me. I know so many Makotis. I mean, the Sotho people don't wear the
Oh
Makoti
yeah,
attire. So I'm
attire.
like, why are these people?
Yeah.
Makoti, and then, oh yes, and then there were these kids, and they were playing with these things out of nowhere.
Mm.
At the time, I think I was 22 or 23.
Mm.
Out of nowhere, my
Mm.
mind said, I want to flood these streets with books.
Mm.
That's 2008. I'm
Mm.
getting into Cape Town. First thought I had was that, and
Oh wow.
it meant nothing to me. I worked, I joined the workforce, and I continued reading just for pleasure for
Mm.
myself, and it did nothing. 2020, COVID hits.
Mm.
I'm a student at UWC, and
Mm.
I'm like, um,
Mm.
I need an income. A friend of mine, I think I call him a friend of mine now, but he's more like a mentor, Mfunso Kosana.
Mm.
He always dabbles in businesses. So he
Mm.
met this guy, Utepo. Utepo was
He was looking for his radios, wasn't
yes, I was looking for that.
Yes, I
You
think he
went
went
to
for
interview.
me. Yes,
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 yes, yes,
yes.
you went
Yeah,
there.
I think the name sounds familiar.
Family,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
So I worked for him for years, and
Mm.
he dabbled, kuzo zonke businesses, and anyone would come with an idea and he would test
Yeah.
it out, and he trusted me. So he was like, Zim, this guy is into publishing. He wants to partner with me just to find out what is the publishing about. Of course, that relationship didn't bloom, but
Mm.
I had learned
Mm.
the basics. Well, oh, this is how books are made.
Yeah.
And okay, so 2019, fast forward to 2019, when I'm like, I need an income, but something that I'm going to love.
Mm.
I'm not a seller. I can't sell
Yeah.
forever. I can't sell.
Mm.
Only people will come up. Do I sell forever?
Yeah.
No, you
Mm.
talk a lot. You can sell. I can't. I know
Mm.
myself.
Mm.
And I was like, something that I'm
Mm.
gonna enjoy, something that I
Mm.
know I'll
Yeah.
excel in. And books. And I thought, oh, I remember Utep was doing publishing.
Oh yeah.
Let me, and I went back to my emails and I was like, okay, here's an email address of National Libraries. I emailed them and asked someone to call me, and then they called, asked about it, and they were like, yes, you can do this. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, where am I going to get clients?
Mm.
And things are happening. 2020, the COVID hits.
Mm.
People are at home.
Mm.
People are reflecting. They are
Mm.
writing. They are picking up the
Mm.
books that they were writing. They're
Mm.
putting together their diaries, their journals, all of that. And Umfundisi calls me, Uqala Skhosana, and says, Zim, I have a friend who says he's got a manuscript. And I remember you sent me an email and asked permission to start a publishing house because I introduced you to I'm a very relational person. I
Mm.
do not want to step on toes. I
Yeah.
knew where I got the skill for publishing,
Mm.
and I was like, I don't want you to see me
Mm.
publishing and flourishing and be like, I taught her that, and she
Yeah.
never acknowledged me. So before I started everything, I asked him. I didn't even have a name. I'm like, "Wanna do this?" And he said, "No, it's fine. Go ahead." So in 2020, he's like, "Sim, you said you wanted to do this. I don't know how far you are with it, but I've got a friend that says they want to publish, and they're paying. They want to pay." Like, okay, all right, bring them in. And my first book was incwadi kaMfundisi uTheo Mayekiso, Being Black and a South African Story That Matters. One, the title of the book. Two, the content of the book. He starts it from Ezlalini, where he grew up, to the city, to how, all of that. So I started with this amazing book, and now I know the type of book that I want. I know the book that I would read. So for me, it was not it was not it was not rocket science. The fact that I know how a book is supposed to look. He told me that he wanted a cover. That's like I'm like, nope, that's not how we're going. This is with this title. This is what I would read. This is the type of book I would read. And with all my books, that's how that's how it works. I look at the title, I read the content. I'm like, if someone were to say I am selling this book. This is how I want it to look. This is how I want it to feel. This is the font I want to see in this book. Don't give me a small fonted book. There are books that can have a small font, and I've published those books, and I intentionally made the font small because I knew that this is what was needed. So 2020, I started with that book, and I was like, okay, I can publish, and then printing. We went to printing. I didn't know the diameters and don't.
Yeah.
So
Those
like,
fine details.
yeah, so I'm sending them an email, and it's during COVID. I'm sending them an email back. I want a book, normal book. I said to them, I don't even know the type of paper.
Yeah.
Remember me saying to you when you work on your book,
Yeah.
don't use white paper,
Oh, yes.
use creamy bulk.
Yeah.
Yes. At the time I didn't know. I said to them, listen, I want the brownish paper, the one that looks like jot. I remember writing an email and explaining on the phone. It must be roughish, like it must be brownish. So I don't know the name of that paper. And then the guy said, it's creamy bulk. Like, yes, that one. I want that, but it must be a normal book. And then he said, okay, what's normal book? I don't know how I gave him centimeters and millimeters and whatever, but I sent those. And then they came with a small book. I'm like, guys, I said normal book. And then they said, but the diameters you gave us. I'm like, okay, fine. It's one book anyway.
The confidence, girl, you put an measurements and size and don't know how do you get there.
Wait, how do I tell the author that, listen, let's meet at my house. They're bringing the book. The courier is going to be here at this time. And then this package is like, what is this? I'm like,
oh my goodness.
And we opened it together. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. It's like, no, it's fine. I trust you. Sort it out. Okay, yes, I'll sort it out. And people were
and I know you kept for sorting it damage control.
Yes, I was on the phone immediately. He's trying to calm me down. I'm like, I'm on the phone. Guys, I said normal book. Is this a normal book? Like, is this normal book? I said normal book. They said no, but they don't. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. They said, oh no, we know what you want now. You want A5. I'm like, I don't trust A5. I don't know what A5 is. I'm coming with the exact book that I want this book to be like. So I took a book. When there's like, we are not open. I'm like, find someone who's going to meet with me. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to throw the book at them. I'm not even going to be standing next to them. I don't care if I get COVID. I need this book to be perfect. I can't trust you guys to be telling me about A5. What is an A5?
A woman of standard that you are. So you feel like that.
Yes, I got into a taxi, and so they did a beautiful book.
Wow.
It was beautiful. It came.
And that was your first.
My first book. When it came the second time, we were disappointed the first time. So when it came, like,
you love it.
I opened it. I'm like, they got everything that I wanted. This is magic. How did I not know that I could do this?
So all this happened in 2020.
2020.
Guys, COVID.
This was 2 months. This was all of this happened in 2 months, 2020. And you know me and time. I was like, I really want to see the final product. And we did that book in 2 months. And after that, so I started marketing with that book. I still didn't have a name. I did not have a name. I remember that book did not have a name. And then after we printed, I was Uhlanga Publishers. I'm like, no, I don't like Uhlanga Publishers. I want to be Uhlanga Books. Then I rebranded. Yeah, we rebranded. And after I marketed, someone bought the book and then told a friend of theirs that, listen, A friend of mine just published this book with a lady in Kailicha. Maybe you can talk to them because they've been trying to get their work published,
Okay.
but mainstream publishers were like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
And I knew in my research, in as much as I researched my name,
Mm.
I knew that yes, I felt power when I say my name. I
Mm.
feel like yes,
Mm.
I am becoming this
Yo, guys,
publisher.
2020, a lot has happened, yes, that year, in as much as well, we're going through a lot. But I think my previous guests here, they started their work during that time.
That was a good time. I was listening to someone else. I think you know her. She was saying, 2020 for me gave me a breather that I needed.
Wow.
I didn't have to worry about anything. So I'm like, 2020 was different for each and every one of
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
Because for me, people are like, it was bad. I'm like, but that was good for me
Yeah.
because
There are
I got to hone
businesses
my
that
skills.
started.
Other businesses were dying.
Yeah.
So I was like, but for me, it was good because everyone had something to say. And I learned, now I hit the ground running because people were like, the books were coming in. And I'm like, I can't use the same font for the same book. I don't want to be known as the person who uses the same font. I have to think about the typesetting of the book. I can't have chapters and titles the same, And 2020 was good because I didn't have to go anywhere. Didn't have to go to work, didn't have to go to school. I was in the house 24/7. So day and night was like the same thing, just blended into each other. And that's when I started my work.
Wow. And now, 2025, how many books do you still remember? Do you know? Do you keep the number?
I used to keep the number. It was 19 the last time I checked. But after that 19, there was you. There was. I think I'm 20.
You are close to 30.
I would say 26. I think I did 6 after. Yes, yeah. I must count.
You must count again.
I must count. Listen,
I feel like I would get every milestone. I would know it once I'm like 23 with confidence that I know this is my number 25.
This is my number.
This is my 26. And you must keep those numbers. So you go back and you tell me when you get home about how many books in 2025.
John, I was checking, I was doing this proposal for the festival, and I was like, these people don't know me. When I say I'm a publisher, they probably think I do AI, I do AI, or I just don't want to show them my books. So I started, I'm like, going back to my emails, all the books I've published, and taking the book covers. I'm like, I forgot about this one. I forgot about this one. How beautiful is this cover? How did I even think of this?
That's the thing. We forget and we need to remember. And I think in times of when we're feeling down and out and discouraged, and we just need to look back. And history nje iyachaza uba okay, sisebenzile. You've done this and usebenzile. And you need to, because akho mntu appreciate, you need to appreciate yourself. Now then the books 20-something is going to confirm that. And now there is another part ke ngawezimo endiyithandayo with children and books. What is happening? What are you doing with kids eKairos? And how
I can just
I will never, I'm not going to allow you not to tell this story. You remember when you came here, Stellenbosch, as my VIP event? You said something that about, I don't know if you're traveling and then parents and something, you're going to remember this, but I have bits and pieces of that. Parents that they don't have time and kids and something that took hours with traffic to and from work. What was that?
So I think I was at the.
Tell us because tell the right story.
Let me tell,
the right way.
Let me tell how the book came to be, because I think that's the origin story of the book.
I remember stories. I remember stories.
And I love telling stories. I was saying to this, the other person who was interviewing me, I was like, you know what? I feel like I tell my answers are stories, and I'm sorry that my answers are stories because that's what they are. So now, with what I do is it's called Bookniks. It's a picnic with books. And this was started out of a need. It was started from a point of desperation. Even the name came from a point of desperation because I had to make it beautiful. So this is what happened. I'm always doing research. I'm always doing research of how can I improve my work and everything. So I'm reading and I come across this thing that says that kids in grade 4, 78% of kids in grade 4 cannot read for comprehension. And I'm like, no, that can't be true. Kids can read. I know I've got a child that's in grade 4. My niece is in grade 4 and he can read. I know Luje can read. So what do they mean they can't read? For comprehension? Like, okay, I need to, and it saddened me
Yeah.
because I've always been concerned about kids that are in matric and they cannot articulate themselves.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
they
it
can't,
happens.
they can't articulate themselves. Even if you're asking him in
Mm.
they'll be like, like, why can't you and
Mm.
speak?
Mm.
It's in your language. Now it's worse when it's in English. So I'm like, so that has always bothered me. I'm like, what if it starts from this research that I don't know about?
Yeah.
So I called the kids. There are always kids again in the township. You just open your gate, kids are
There are
here.
kids around.
Like, hey kids, stand up. Can you read? Yes, we can read. Yes, we can read. And it was boys that were playing soccer. Yes, we can read. We can okay, fine, read. And then I give them books and read. I didn't even have a collection of children's books. I'm like, just read here. Then they read. And I say, close them, give them to me. What was your book about? Yo, you know, like, now the confidence that they had when they said, yes, we can read.
Oh, yeah.
The confidence that they had when they were reading the words word for word. Mama went to buy to the shop. Mama came back with oranges. There were 5 oranges.
But
She made
the
a salad with oranges. When she was that confident, now I'm asking you to tell me what you read.
Yeah.